Hey besties, there is nothing as bad as having a 9 to 5 or your own business, but when it's time to actually talk money, you do not have a single dime month in, month out. So today we are going to be talking about 7 main things every professional needs to know about money. My favorites are numbers 1, 6, and 7. Number 1, pay yourself first. This is something that a lot of us don't do. So normally when you get your salary or you get some income from maybe your business or whatever you're doing, the normal thing is to pay bills, and this is something that we all do even without thinking. So for instance, when I get paid my salary, the natural thing will be to pay my house rent, pay my council tax bill, pay whatever bill I have to pay, give money out, enjoy myself for the month, then whatever remains would now be saved or invested. That is what a lot of people do. Hence, the rich keeps getting richer, the poor keeps getting poorer. One thing I have learned in terms of building wealth is pay yourself first. And the way you pay yourself first is by saving and investing first before you even look at your other bills. And of course, once someone says anything about saving or investing, there are so many people that will be like, oh, the money I have is not even enough. How can I save or invest? See, if you cannot save or invest with what you have right now, you would never be able to save or invest even when your finances increase. Talking about money publicly is something I shy away from, because even when you're saying something that is very rational and logical, there would always be people that would feel like, oh, you're just being privileged, forgetting that we all started from somewhere and there are some money principles that would take you from point A to point B. One of them is you paying yourself first, regardless of how much you earn. So if the current salary you're earning is not enough, it's not going to cost so much to remove, even if it is 5%, as savings. So let's even leave investment at least as savings. And the reason why this is called paying yourself first is because the bills are expenses. They are not coming back to you. Once they are gone, they are gone. But when you save and invest, it is you paying yourself first, because that money gets increased and in some instances even multiplied. Now, if you are waiting till you are done with your bills to save or invest, you will most likely not save or invest. Go and ask anyone that has no savings and they will tell you that, oh, bills are too much, bills are too much. But if they remove something, no matter how small, emphasis on no matter how small, because people think you have to save or invest a big money. No. Whatever you can invest or save, please do it first. If possible, automate your savings and investment such that as money is dropping in your account, your savings and investments are being removed immediately. So I hope this is your sign to treat your savings and investment like a bill. So act like it is your house rent that you compulsorily need to pay off, and to just make things easier for you. And the second tip is live below your means. This is something that people always say, but few people actually implement. This is even something that I am a work in progress in, because it's not very easy to live below your means. Most times, especially when your income increases, there is that tendency to want to increase your own expenses. Lifestyle inflation, that's what it is called. Sometimes it can even seem like you keeping up with the Joneses, especially if you're someone that has risen in income level. You would want to keep up with your peers now. They are buying the latest designer items, so you too, you will buy. But that is absolutely not wise. Now, no one is saying you should be a penny pincher. I would never even say that, because I don't even like penny pinchers. I believe in spoiling yourself. However, it has to be within reason. It has to be balanced such that you are enjoying life but still thinking of the future. So when you live below your means, it greatly helps you, because the excess money that you would have just splurged just because can be used to do something else that will help you in the long run. The third tip is have multiple streams of income. See, our economy is such that things keep getting expensive day by day, and it does not even matter where you live, whether you are in Nigeria, you are in the UK, you are in Canada, you are in the US. As each day goes by, things get more expensive. That's why there are people that will consistently complain that things are expensive, because truly things are expensive. And that's why having just one source of income is not a good idea. And when I talk about multiple sources of income, it does not have to be that the other sources of income are giving you lots of money, even if it is giving you an extra 50 pounds, an extra 100,000 naira, an extra this, that, and a third, it is better than solely relying on your 9 to 5. Now, I can't even give a definite advice about your multiple streams of income because it is very subjective depending on who you are. For instance, if you're an educational content creator like myself, you can think about, oh, can you write an ebook? Can you have a course? Can you teach people one-on-one? Things like that. Now, I've given you examples based on who I am. But for you, let's say you're not even an educational content creator. Whatever field you are in, whatever you have been applauded for your good work in, whatever your friends have always praised you that you can do, that is monetizable. Do not be scared to charge for your services. Do not be scared to charge money for what you have to offer. Do not be scared to have another source of income. Now, you can have an active income. For instance, some people even have like a second job. That's not the path I would take because I'm not a huge fan of giving my time in exchange for money. Of course, if that's where you are at right now, that is fine. In fact, if that's even where you are at in terms of long term, you want to have 2 jobs, 3 jobs, that is fine. Point is, have multiple streams of income. I like to gravitate towards passive streams of income. For instance, if you are knowledgeable about stocks and shares, you would know that you can get lots of passive income as another source of income through that investment. There are various ways you can have different sources of income. Do not just be limited by what you know right now. Think, and that will lead me to, no, I don't want to say my last point because what I wanted to say was the last point. So let's move over to the 4th point, which is have an emergency fund. When you do not have an emergency fund, you're going to be in a high state of survival. You could be in a toxic job and you cannot even leave because you don't even have an emergency savings. So if anything happens, it's over. In fact, there are some people in the UK that are one salary away from being homeless. Imagine being here, and if something happens, that you lose your job or something just happens, you would have no place to live. That is a very scary place to be in. Now, of course, if you're watching me, it's even possible that right now, for circumstances you cannot control, you have no emergency fund. It's okay. The point is, this knowledge is supposed to help you start thinking about the future. So if prior to now you've not been very serious about actually getting out of survival mode, please let this be your sign too, because there is nothing as bad as being in survival mode. I've experienced it. It wasn't it at all. It wasn't good at all, because when you're in survival mode, you can't even think, because you're just thinking of survivor, and it even impacts every aspect of your life, including your relationships. Because when you're trying to survive, if someone is telling you they love you, you are thinking, okay, does this person have money to finance my life and bail me out? You are not thinking normally, because you're just thinking of, okay, survival, how can I survive? And of course, as I said, if you are in that phase right now, that's understandable, but do not be in that pity party state where you're like, oh, things are bad, woe is me. Yes, things may not be the best, but what can you do about it? Because yes, you have control. This is not a place where we allow victim mentality to just stay and foster. If you need to cry, cry. Yes, cry. Once you're done crying, write down, how can we make things better? How can we leave this survival mode? What do you need to do? And a lot of times, the resources that we need to progress our lives, we already have it. Most times when we want to make more money, do this and that, we want to buy another course, pay for another ebook. But most times we have the answers from within. Now, of course, I'm not saying don't pay for courses or buy ebooks, because you should to grow your knowledge. But some of us are just using the excuse of buying more information to prevent us from actually taking action from what you know. The knowledge you have is already enough. You've read enough books. You have, well, there's nothing like reading enough books, because you need to constantly keep reading. But the knowledge you have is enough. It can make you money. It's okay. It's okay, my love. When building your emergency fund, I would always advise to keep it in either a high yield savings account or an ISA. If you want me to delve deeper into all of these things, let me know in the comment section. Just put it in the comment section, so I will consider that, because at this point I don't even know how deep you want me to go in terms of these money talks. And of course, if you're enjoying this video, I want to see a thumbs up, as that motivates me to create more videos like this. Now, the fifth tip is have investment. See, I've obviously skimmed through investing, and I will still skim through it until I'm sure that you want me to delve deeper into it. But see, invest. There are various ways to invest, whether it is in stocks and shares, whether it is in gold, whether it is in treasury bills, government bonds, various ways, besties. Some of these ways are high risk, some are medium risk, some are low risk. Do your due diligence. If you want me to talk more about investing, type invest. I'll know that you're interested in that. But whatever the case, see, invest consistently. Emphasis is on consistently, because the more you invest, the more you, of course, have more money, but the more you build that discipline of investing. Now, the sixth tip, which I said is one of my favorites, is know where your money is going. A lot of us don't care to know where our money is going. We don't even know what we spend too much on. If you would ask me, for instance, what I spend too much on, I would say fashion, but that's not true. What I spend too much on are food or maybe travel. And I got to know this by constantly auditing. So I audit my finances every week, and that helps me know where my money is going. How are you going to track whether you are getting enough money, whether you need to double your hustle? You won't be able to track any of that, because you just don't know. There are people that when other people ask them for money, like gifts, or they want to bill you, you just say, okay, yes, I can give you money. Then later when you realize that, hey, I did not have enough money, but you've already promised that person. So most likely you have to give the person, or tell them, oh, I just checked and I don't have money. And that looks somehow. But if you were auditing your finances, if someone asks you for money, you just know, oh, I don't have money now. And you will not feel any form of guilt or anything, because you actually don't have money. Oh, that reminds me, another tip should have been about black tax, but I don't think I'll talk about it now. If you want me to make a part 2 of this video, you can comment part 2 or say I want part 2, and I'll consider doing that, because that's not the last point. The last point is be financially literate. A lot of us treat money anyhow because we don't have the knowledge. We may be book smart, emotionally intelligent, socially intelligent, but financially unintelligent. Simple things about your money you don't know, and there is no shame in not knowing. The most important thing is you are acknowledging that you don't know and you want to know. One way to know: pick up a book. Pick up a book on money. Pick it up. If you, in short, I don't want to say if you don't like reading, because I feel things like reading, exercising are non-negotiable hobbies. There are things that should even be compulsory in anyone's life. But if you don't like reading physical books, you can listen to audiobooks or watch podcasts on money or watch Netflix series on money. Yes, there are series on money. The point is, be insanely financially literate. Educate yourself, and next thing you'll see that, oh wow, this thing that has always sounded very difficult is very easy. And if you want to book a one-on-one session with me where we talk about whatever your concern is, click the link in the description box and you will see my other services. Now I'll be linking up a video similar to this. And until next time, my loves, stay blessed, remain happy, and get so much money. Bye, besties. Mwah.